Well, I know how popular your people will be.
All right, I'm gonna call the meeting to order. It's 5:34. First order of business will be to approve the minutes of December 4th. Which are in front of you.
My apologies for not getting them to you in email, per the usual. Instead, tonight we have one of those really exciting parts of the meeting where we all begin.
My $5 go for a good Charles holiday gift.
Oh, yeah, I did. That's
Okay,
right. We
I
haven't
just
seen
thought
each
I'd
other.
ask.
We actually got a couple of things. Yep, I forgot what they are now, but I brought them down.
Money well spent then.
Money well spent.
Yeah, I took
Pardon me?
half a vehicle full of toys to
Oh, you did.
Susan Happ.
Where do you take them to? Down to school?
Yeah, Susan Happ was, she worked with kids with,
She school adjustment over there?
yeah, school adjustment. Has some kids that she deals some people that she deals with, apparently, that kind of benefactor that donates a lot of money to. So I'm very happy to have.
That's good. Yeah, they had a lot of stuff when I brought
This
my stuff in there, so.
put it in the back of my SUV and took it down. It's a good amount of stuff. Filled the back of her car.
I like that way that you go through this and nothing flat, and I sit there and read some of the articles.
Jane Swift.
There, you want to read those first?
He thought it was that exciting, maybe I should do the same
Well, you
thing.
did, have you read the minutes?
I have read them.
Oh, okay, everybody, all set? Any changes, additions, deletions? I think they're fine. I still haven't done what you've got down, Laura to do, but I'll get to it. All right, so, all in favor?
Aye.
You abstain because you weren't here. Okay.
Tips to prevent common cold weather injuries. Pardon?
What? Tips to drink. Now you can skip that one. All right. Let's see. Did I hand out last time? No, I didn't I just said that they were coming because I've got this only recently. The actual rates from Jeff Rogers at the Hampshire Council.
Yeah, I think you did.
Did I, at the end of his
No, I
thing,
don't
because
see
he's
it. I don't
actually
see it.
come up with numbers now. It's a 3-year contract starting January.
I don't
Their
see it.
price is $9.01. And the National Grid is currently at $9.45. I'll make a copy of this. My printer, even though it's new, could have been this, but I didn't. I'll make a copy of this and actually get you the actual numbers so that you just have it.
So their quote was 9.
Yep, 901. Oops. Whereas National Grid's current default service price for the same class is currently at $9.45. Your usage comes out to about $600 per year. National Grid's rate stays the same, which we're kind of saying, well, it's done, and then we come out at $1,800 or so. It's very unlikely to happen. National Grid rates change.
So there's a potential savings.
Yeah,
Is that the
there is.
conclusion?
There is a potential savings.
That's the conclusion, it's,
That's- yeah.
it's a good news.
Yeah,
Yeah, oh, good, okay.
and we'll just have to wait and see what the volatile electronic stock market does, so, here we go. All right, you have in front of you, and I gave this to the guys last time, the budget list, when they are going to have their meetings on the school budget, et cetera, and what group is meeting, whether it's the school committee or the finance subcommittee or whatever. Tomorrow night there's a finance subcommittee meeting, if anyone should choose to attend. Is this the first one for the finance
Yeah,
subcommittee?
this is,
Yeah.
The first,
it's actually the third one, but it's the unveiling of the whole budget
Okay, so-
altogether, so.
so I won't be around, but tomorrow night's
I'm not here tomorrow night.
if
either.
anybody
Anybody
is
that wants to
interested
come,
or
I
around.
appreciate
Boston.
anybody that could come.
I'm in New York.
Okay, I'm in Boston too, so, okay. There will be further on down in another, yes, Charlie.
Yeah, if you'd like,
Is there,
There's one further on
there's
down
one
when the
for
budget process
finance
gets kicked.
committee, yeah, that one I have
Yeah,
noted.
I just thought it's very interesting, I did this one year when I was around, was to be able to attend each of the finance subcommittee meetings, because then you kind of get to see what they focus on, how it evolves, and whatever. It's just very educational.
Well,
But later on in the process, I think sometime in February,
we're
there's the,
required to do the final budget, what is it, March?
Yeah, but in
15.
February, there's a,
February is when you get all the
Yeah.
finance committee
Yeah.
members and
There's
other
a-
town officials and things to
there's a
come.
hearing.
take action.
and we have to adopt the preliminary budget 1
Right.
month before the adoption of the final budget.
Okay.
Right. So,
I'm more than happy, just let me know when you want me to be here, but I
oh,
would
that's a good
come
idea,
as a school committee rep, not as a selectman,
yeah,
but as a school committee rep, so that we can talk about the budget.
okay. All right, that's a good idea. All right, let's see, next on this list is, okay, the, meeting with the auditor, John Sullivan, with respect to the special audit report. Its draft is now on for Tuesday, the 21st of January. Is it at 7 or 7:30?
7.
It's at 7
Seven.
No,
o'clock.
it's actually 7:15, I think we have, hearing that night at 7.
7, so it's about 7:15, and John will be there, it'll be at the North Egremont Firehouse. I will be in Colorado, so I will not be around, but tonight when we discuss
I'll be
this,
there.
and next week,
Tom, I'm sure
when we
be there.
discuss this, then, I may have observations or comments or things like that that you can present while you present some of your own. All right, the expenditure report, we don't have the one for the end of December yet.
Sir, can I go back? Did we get the final bill on that report from John Sullivan? I'm sure he's within budget, but I just don't know whether he came up with the final.
I
bill.
have not seen, there was just a preliminary of 7,000
I don't
progress
think
payment.
he'll give us a final invoice until he's turned this into a final, I mean, this is just draft right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's a final report.
All right, and then I'm going to hop down to the finance committee budget request so that we can hand this in. We have 2 accounts that we're responsible for. One is our expense account, which last year we asked for $600. Simply because we have new members and it might be prudent and it might be educational if some of the new members attended some of the Association of Town Finance Committee training things, group seminars, things like that. I don't see us needing any more than that for 2015. Does anybody,
What do we spend?
in 2013, out of 500, we actually spent 377.
Yeah.
Nobody went to anything. Our dues are about $130 a year. Mary charges us about $170 for our share of the copier maintenance, et cetera. And then there are usually some supplies that somebody might get that they need for the committee. And then there's attendance at any one of these conferences, which is about $200 total. It's about $100 to go, and maybe the same in getting yourself out to Boston in terms of mileage, et cetera.
Or just leave it in?
So I would leave it the way it is, yeah,
you said it was what amount? 6?
600.
Okay.
So do I have a vote that we all approve $600 as our request for 2015? Okay,
Agreed.
so
Agreed.
I'm just gonna do this. I'll leave all the, and then the other is the reserve fund. For years, it's been $25,000 a year. Our opinion has always been that's a sufficient amount. If anything larger came along, then we would want a special town meeting and get the input of the townsfolk. How do you guys feel about that?
Is that what it's been done in the past?
Yeah, basically, we've left it at 25, and we have yet to, last year, we did get a request we weren't able to honor because we didn't have enough money left.
Really?
So, yeah. So we ended up doing an end-of-year transfer.
So it sounds like it's adequate for planning purposes?
It's adequate for planning purposes, I think it is. I mean, in my 10 years, last year was the first year that we've actually not had enough money to honor a request. It was easy enough to do it at the end of the year through an end-of-year transfer. So, so what do you guys say?
Yeah.
That
so-
sounds okay?
Sounds reasonable?
All right, let's vote, okay? We're gonna put in a request for $25,000?
So moved.
Aye.
Okay. So it's 6-0 on the expenses and 6-0 on the reserve fund. Okay, and I'll give these to Mary. Now, Mary had put on the table, I didn't have any budget requests yet, but she put on the table a bunch of these tonight, but we're not gonna go through them tonight. I'll go through them, I put them in alphabetical order, I take a look at them, whatever. One thing that I would like to do for the new people is to hand out your budget request books. The tabs, I set up tabs for budget requests new, budget requests on hold, budget requests approved, so that we can keep a copy of what the financial status is as we put together the preliminary budget.
I have one.
You got one? You told me last time you didn't have one.
No, I've got one, it's from last year.
You got one too?
Oh, wait a minute. I
You
have
want
last
one?
year's. It's a fresh one?
No, but you can have a fresh one. What I do is I take the old ones
You
from.
never say no when somebody's giving you something.
All right. So,
Speeding ticket?
There's not too many options.
all right. And one piece of work, let's get this out of the way before we get to the audit, is a reserve fund transfer request. And this is self-explanatory by Mary. They had expected to have the cable in by now, the fiber, but they don't. Therefore, we signed a contract with Cornerstone to provide us with the service, thinking that Verizon would fall by the wayside. Well, since we don't have the fiber yet, Cornerstone can't connect.
Is this the police department?
Well, Cornerstone
No.
is connected, but we're paying for two.
We're paying for two.
It's not making any.
Yes, Charlie, go
I
ahead.
did call Mary today, and I asked her to go back to Cornerstone
Mm-hmm.
to give us specifics as to what they have been providing to warrant the charge that they made.
Even though we signed a contract saying
Even though
would
we
pay us,
signed a
so you go, Okay,
contract.
what happened? Do we know yet?
She has not received an answer
Mm-hmm.
as of yet, but I suspect this very well could be reduced
Well, then why
to
don't
some
we,
So
extent.
we hold this,
yeah, why don't we put this
Well,
on hold with that
does it make
information?
sense to, or is it gonna stay?
Does she have, in the account right now is $170.09,
Yeah, so,
with January's bills coming due.
My concern is that we signed this contract based upon the belief that we're going to become connected to fiber through NBI. At the current time, we're still not connected through NBI. My question to Mary this morning was, what services are they providing based upon what we signed for in terms of we have a backup in archiving agreement with them, as well as what are we paying for in terms of ISP? Because if we're paying for an ISP service, we're not receiving a service at this time. That was my question. And I know Mary went back to them, but I don't believe we've received an answer at that time, at this point.
Well, this looks, I'm looking at the days their bill happens to have been paid. In August, it was on the 7th. In September, it was on the 11th. the 13th. So frankly, when is the next warrant, the warrant for January? Because we meet on the 15th, so by then we'll have an answer, so we always just approve this on the 15th.
We can,
You think you can fudge for, like, not
we
pay
can
them?
already expend the budget
Can we hold it?
for, you know, knowing you're aware, the transfer,
So you'll just debit the account,
yeah,
so just,
and you gotta pay a bill.
so it's just a matter of what we transfer, whether we transfer less, because Charlie is able to get them to
Mhm.
agree to something less, because we're not getting the service that we signed up for, or whether we have to pay the whole thing, because they're gonna say, you signed a contract.
Is there a contact person?
Yes, there is a contact person, and Mary is talking to that person per my request today, and I think she was already questioning it prior to even my discussions with her.
All right, I have no problem putting this on hold, because we'll get the answer, and then we either advance $1,000, or we advance the 2,000, whatever it is that it takes. Okay. You guys all on board with that?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Let's,
Okay. Okay, let's just put this on.
You have a lot of options.
Well, the other one is just to go ahead and give them the money anyway, and then, but, and then at the end of the year, there could be money in the account. That's another option too. But rather than advance
Or you
more
could-
money from the
or you
reserve
could-
fund than we need to,
Stop paying them, maybe service would be rendered. a little
how
faster.
could it be without the
Well,
fiber?
it's not really their fault that we're not getting service, because they're supposed to connect to the internet, you know, when the fiber was hooked up, and that was supposed to have been hooked up back in September, or August, or January, or, that means dragged on and on and on.
Alright,
But we'll get some answers for you.
okay, the only other thing I wanna give you is, this is November's. Is it November's? Yes, it's the November 30th expenditure report, and I didn't hand it out last time, but I had it. I'm just giving it to you. It's out of date. December's is due in a few days, but at least you have this. And then, without any more,
This is November's?
yeah, it's the end of November, see? It was run on 12/5,
I see, okay.
the end of November.
Thank you.
So on the budget request forms, next week I'll be handing this out, and we'll start the process of looking at the requests for 2015. We either approve them, we put them on hold, we investigate, we do whatever. And then at some point in time, we'll sit down with the Board of Selectmen. There'll be differences maybe here and there. We talk about them, and then we move from there. Is that the way we're gonna do it this year, guys?
We talked about that yet?
We're gonna do it the same as last year?
Right. We usually, seems to work all right, so.
Pardon? Yeah, it does. It does. All right, so all of you
Not
have,
anticipating anything extraordinary this year.
pardon me, you got it?
I'm not anticipating anything extraordinary this year. That could all change.
The highway department's not gonna be asking for any new vehicle, I don't,
Well, they've already talked to us about asking for a backhoe.
we don't have a backhoe.
Yeah, we have a loader backhoe.
Oh, they want a new one?
Yeah, the one we've got's probably 20 years old.
It's all that.
We've had it for a long time, but that's, and you have it as a later item here, but we have a fire truck.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 10-wheeler, and I've asked Tim to get, prices on putting a dump body on that, and possibly.
Oh, that's the old one. I
Yeah,
have the
possibly
replacement.
keeping the vehicle, I mean, the chassis only got 20,000 miles on it. And Bill tells me you can get about 40 plus or minus 4. There's a used fire truck. To me, that chassis is worth in excess of that $40,000 to put a body on and have a 10-wheeler for us to haul sand.
Are we gonna get
and
enough,
or-
I mean, is it gonna service for like a long time, or we get $40,000
Yeah, I mean, it's,
worth of?
like I say, it's got 20,000 miles on the chassis, so
No, I
it's
know.
effectively brand new. And, you know, so that's a thought that we're looking to see what a body's gonna cost us to put on it. And we may get some money out of the equipment that's, the pump and that kind of stuff.
Question, has the backhoe been incurring a lot of expenditures?
No.
So it's, okay.
No, it hasn't, I mean,
We've been lucky.
no, it's a John Deere, and it's been a good machine. And, you know, they used to use it a lot to load sand with when we had the older loader, and that was,
It's one of those items that'd be nice to have a new one, but we can still make it.
Oh, yeah. It's not an essential, and that's, as we, once we find out what our free cash is, then we can start thinking about how we would.
You can always pay down debt early too.
But when you're borrowing it.
I know,
2%,
that was my next. All right, guys, do you have your copies of the draft here in front of you with the notes you made out? I wanna just sit and listen.
I don't.
You don't wanna sit and listen?
No, I don't
Oh.
have my draft in front of me.
You don't wanna sit and listen.
Maybe I have. Maybe I don't. Well, that's why I sit here next to you, because I just,
Oh, okay. You'll have to look at all my yellow lining.
somebody has to keep you in check.
Tom, do you wanna start, since you and Mike start, because you guys were key men for the finance committee, in terms of what you think about the facts as they were presented by the auditors, and recommend